Hey guys, what's going on? Seth from Schmick Squadron again. And now that a couple of days have passed by for the ban list to really sink in, it's time to talk about winners, and I don't care about the losers, just the winners of just what decks are going to be good for this format. So, you still clearly got Rongo Bongo Combo Boy. You still got Gumblar, who didn't get banned, sucks. A better generic, like a more generic, better Trishula, and somehow that card didn't get touched. Sure. Whatever. I guess. So, pretty much this is just like my answer to what the next best decks are gonna be for this format coming up. And so I'm gonna have five and then like honorable mentions. So number one, and I'm gonna go from best to like worst, essentially. So number one, everybody knows it's gonna be Sky Striker. Sky Striker's the best deck. Sky Striker didn't get hit. Hornet Drones is at one, but everything else is at three. Deck can go way hard plussing ridiculously, and then with multi-roll, you just add it all back. Like, it's like, is this spell books? I mean, come on now. What the fuck? Okay? Like, that, like, the most fair deck is also, like, that was probably the most fair deck before this ban list, and it's probably still one of the more fair decks. It's not like you put Colossus down on the field and Colossus says no, you know? So, Sky Striker probably is going to be the best. You still got Kagari at 3, Shizuku at 3. You got everything at 3 except for Hornet Drones at 3. That card's at 1, so whatever. It's not like that really matters at the end of the day. The deck's still consistent as all hell. It doesn't have the most powerful ceiling, but it's going to be the most consistent and it's going to do what you want most of the time. So, consistency typically over power, usually. Especially since Sky Striker's consistency also has power to back it up. So that's number one. Number two, I'm gonna give it to Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon has a high ceiling, although it can brick and it can have bad hands, but at the end of the day, it's still really good and really powerful, and the ceiling of power that it hits is more than Sky Striker or Altergeist. It's a really strong deck, and it can do what it wants. Like, when it's got the hand for it, it can do what it wants. It can set up easily double Colossus with Titan, no problem, and it'll have plenty of Thunders in the grave, and you'll probably have a Thunder Dragon in hand to be able to discard it, and then still get its effect. On your turn, that's insane. Thunder Dragon discard. You get two pops, but you still got Matrix you'll probably have Matrix in your hand. It doesn't really run back row. It just kind of puts big, beefy monsters on the field, and it kind of just says, no, you can't search, which for Sky Striker, Altergeist, ABC, Trickstar, that can be a problem. That can be an issue. That can be a really big issue. So, moving on to number 3 is Altergeist. Altergeist didn't get touched on the ban list whatsoever. Still has Secret Village. Still has Multifaker at 3. Still has Marionette or whatever at 3. Proofings at 3. Everything's at 3. Everything that deck has is at 3. It's still good. It's got a good matchup against Sky Striker. Its matchup against Thunder Dragon is okay, I suppose. It can beat it. You can win. So, and then your side deck options are really good. They're really, really good. So, I don't really have much to say about Altergeist. It's a good deck. It's going to do fine. We'll just have to see when the YCS comes what's going to be happening and what it's going to do. Number 4 is definitely got to be Goki iterations with Danger, Dark Warrior kind of thing. As you can tell, they're like, no one really has like a name for this. No one really has like an actual name for what's going to go on with this thing. You know, it's like Rongo Bongo Gumblar, like Rongo Bongo Big freaking You Don't Play Boy, or Gumblar Get Rid of Your Hand Boy. Either one of those two, you know, Hand Ripper Boy or Rongo Bongo Boy. That's what I'm calling them. It's either Ripper Hand Boy or Rongo Bongo Boy. So, I mean, those decks are going to be really good. Actually, I'm going to backtrack a second, too. Don't forget about Dino Thunder Dragon. Don't forget about that deck. I mean, I know Blair topped with it at the YCS, got top 16. That's a very good variation of Thunder Dragon. Definitely look out for that card. That card is going to be really, really good. Or that deck is going to be good. I guarantee it. And because it's got the dinosaurs, you could also possibly go second. So just watch out for that. Plus, Conductor is a really good card. Anyways, back to this is Rongo Bongo Boy and Hand Ripper Boy. Hand Ripper Boy should have been banned. Gumblar should have been banned, but it's not. So what are we gonna do, right? One problem out and another one comes in. That's usually Yu-Gi-Oh, right? That's usually what happens, right? All the same though. It was just gonna be like a big like collab of those kind of decks, and it's not really, you can't really know for sure what is going, like which variation of that deck is going to be the best. So you just have to look, you really have to look out for any of them. Any of them is going to be good. Any of them can be good. So just look out for just really look out for any of that kind of variation of deck. Shit, even 6 Sams can fucking just spit out a bunch of shit and make Rongo Bongo Boy. Like, Rongo is also a problem card, but I think it's easier to stop him when Connector comes out. Oh my god, don't even get me fucking started. I've had this discussion with one of my groups, one of the groups that I'm in, and it's the main group that I'm in. But regardless, that card actually says, special summon a card that rips a card out of your hand. And then you contribute it to special summon that card back, which can rip 2 cards in hand. If you don't want to do that, you can go Connector, special summon Dolphin, rip card out of hand, make a Zold. That card pluses, it's like a tour guide, like I've compared it to a tour guide or a Terror Top. It pluses way too hard for one card. Yes, it can be Ashed. Yes, it can be Veilered. Or Veiler. Effect Veiler. I call it Effect Veiler. Blunt, like, kill me. Because that thing violates effects. That's what it does, alright? It violates your monster. That's what it does. Impermanence, Ash, Effect Veiler, or, I don't know, you can cherries the Isolde, I guess, but at the end of the day, that card is going to be used a lot. Like, especially since you can, like, send to, like, you don't know what deck that thing can be put in, but it can special summon the Armageddon Knight, it can special summon a Goki. Excuse me. If you have a Goki in hand, I think it's like, I forget which one. I don't remember if it's Plex or Headbat, but one of the two just special summons out another one from your hand. So, I mean, like, and then you've got Summon Sword. So, Jesus Christ. That card's going to plus very hard. That card is going to allow those decks to plus really hard from 1 normal, especially if they have Called by the Grave. Now that Called by the Grave is back to 3, you'll have a bit better chance at stopping your opponent from stopping you. So, do that as you will. That card's going to be really good. Number 5, and this is the one that's like kind of iffy for me, right? It's iffy because you have a lot of decks that are rogue that are going to be fighting for this spot. And I don't want to give it to Trickstar right away. But Trickstar probably could be the main contender right there for the number 5 spot. I mean, Trickstar is sadly really good. I hate that deck, but sadly, yes, it is really good. It's a really good deck. And I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Sorry, my computer is kind of like lighting right now, so I had to turn it back on. Anyways, not breaking the fourth wall here. Trickstar still has Droll, still has Reincarnation, still has everything at 3. The only thing is Terraforming is at 2, and Drones is at 1. But that Sky Striker Trickstar is still good. Pure Trickstar is still good. But I don't feel like I want to give Trickstar that spot. Because as long as you... It's a one-trick pony. It's just a one-card combo deck that's a one-trick pony. All it does is put... It also lost Firewall, so you can't do the Lilybell OTK anymore, which is great. That was dumb. But the deck still has pretty much everything at 3. Can still use Scapegoat, still use Borreload or Boral Sword, but it's a one card deck that's a one-trick pony, and it can adapt very well, but it's a deck that can easily lose to the other rogue decks. Something like Paleo, ABC. ABC, you put an A on board, now that you have them back at 3, put an A on board, and none of their monsters are big enough to hit over it. You can't really do anything to it. You can just, they can slow play and just hit A and slowly accumulate your board. Same thing with Paleo. You just set 5 and just don't allow Trickstar to do anything. You can chain off Reincarnation. You can chain off of some of their traps that they'll try to run. You don't really get affected by Droll and Lockbird. Reincarnation and Droll, I mean, that affects every deck. You just pretty much auto lose to that. But that's why I don't really want to give Trickstar that spot. So there's number 5 could be a toss-up between Trickstar, Draco, Paleo, ABC, Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon is very strong. That deck has been waiting to make itself known, and it made itself known at the last YCS, getting top 8. I believe. Was it Pasadena? Yeah, I do believe it was YCS Pasadena that it got top 8. Don't sleep on Cyber Dragon. That is a very good deck. If that deck can just plow through. It can plow through if it wants to. But yeah, there's decks like that. Cosmo. Cosmo's back at Dark Destroyer with 3. You can run a Stun variant. You can run a Draco variant. You can run, I don't know, Artifacts, for God's sake. Tin Can Turbo. Now that your Dark Destroyer is back at 3, a lot of decks can't deal with that right now. Thunder Dragon has to use Titan because Titan's super huge. Because it's super huge and it hits for 32, but Dark Destroyer floats. So that's your kind of give and take, plus if the Dark Destroyer went first and the board is already established, say you are running a Demise build or something like that, you can just you can literally just flip over Sanctum and put Scythe on board, and Thunder Dragon's turn is dead. Actually dead. They can't go into their extra deck. They're not doing anything to your board. So like I said, it's kind of a toss-up. Cosmo's going to be a dark horse. ABC is back at full power. I don't really know what it can do against Thunder Dragon going second. But if you play it right and you resource right, you can probably win, but you're going to have to side for that matchup. But yeah, number 5, I'd say, is more of a toss-up between a lot of the decks. Like I said, Draco, Cosmo, ABC, Cyber Dragon, Trickstar, Paleo. Those are all fine choices. You could honestly make this list at a 10, a 10 decks that are probably going to be relevant. But yeah, that's sort of my list. And that's my thoughts, and who the winners are, and who's coming out of this list, and what you're likely going to see when it comes to this YCS, your regionals, your locals, things like that. Those are the decks you're going to be looking out for. So, I've given you the information, right? I've given you the information. Yeah, Reginald. So, now that I've given you the information, it's up to you to use that information to your winnings. Until next time, it's your boy from Seth from Schmick Squadron. And I have no idea why I did that voice. Till next time, peace.